Hi, I'm John McAuliffe, Chief Marketing Officer of VFM Leonardo, and welcome to VTV. VTV has been produced for hotel e-commerce, marketing, and sales professionals to provide insights, knowledge, and learning from industry experts on how to extract more value from a hotel's presence on the internet. Each week, I will interview an industry expert on a single topic. We have discovered many of these topics from industry people like yourself and encourage you to let us know if there is a topic you would like us to cover on VTV. You can email us at vtv@vfmleonardo.com and make your suggestion anytime. Welcome to today's episode. Our topic today is the traveler's road to decision. And joining me today is Jeff Higley. Jeff is the editorial director at hotelnewsnow.com, which he recently launched for Smith Travel Research. He is immersed in the latest news and trends in the worldwide hotel industry and speaks with executives at hotel management companies to get their first-hand perspectives on what's happening in the industry. Jeff, thank you for joining me on VTV and welcome.
Thank you, John. It's always a pleasure to work with you and VFM Leonardo. Thanks for having me.
The topic today is the traveler's road to decision. We both know that online travel is a huge industry, and there are thousands of websites and electronic channels for consumers to research, compare, and purchase travel online. In your opinion, how can hotels leverage this enormous reach made possible by the internet?
John, part of the leverage comes internally from hotel companies themselves with just the sheer magnitude of the size of their frequent guest programs or their guest loyalty programs. Engaging those people in an environment that allows them to compare, to see the value that they're getting by being a frequent stay guest at a hotel is certainly worth its weight in gold to hotels. Now, beyond the normal repeat guests like that, the main focus of hotel operators when it comes to the online travel agents should be making sure that they're giving the most aggressive price out there, because as we know, this is an environment in which value is king. And the more that you can provide value to a potential guest and put it out in the avenues that the guests are using to do their research, the better off you are. Hotels have for the past 5 or 6 years offered lowest price guarantees on their websites, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't use the third-party sites that are aggregators of pricing and market to the users of those sites as well. Because if you can convert people to your site through one of those sites, it's a win-win for your hotel and for the guest.
There's still many hotels and hotel brands that fear online travel agencies or third-party intermediaries, depending on what term you use, because they prefer having their hotels booked on brand.com in order to decrease their cost of sale. Is this fear still warranted?
I don't think it is. I think in 2001, 2002, it certainly was warranted, because those third-party intermediaries had gained control of the hotel industry's inventory, and the brands were left on the outside scratching their heads going, now, how do we get this back? That low price guarantee is part of the successful way that hotels have gotten that price integrity back. However, we all know that brand.com isn't for everyone. There are some consumers, and depending on which research you listen to, it could be as much as half the consumers don't really want to use brand.com. Their perception is using a third-party site that is unaffiliated with brand.com gives them the true value or the true story. Because, let's face it, with the advent of social media and social networking, the ability to go onto a site and say, I want to stay at Hotel X in this town, what do you think? And getting responses ranging from, I felt like a king, to I left there with 1,000 bedbug bites. Those third-party sites are perceived by customers or by by the general public as being a little bit more unbiased than brand.com. So fearing those sites is probably a surefire way to, what's the right word? It's a surefire way I'm drawing a blank on the word, John, but it's a surefire way to undermine your own pricing and your own strategy because you're missing the boat on 50% of the population that uses those sites.
Yeah,
so embrace them, love them.
I would even suggest that, I find it interesting in an industry, and it's not just the hotel industry, we label things, and we've labeled these as OTAs. So by definition, they are places where people go to book. Travel shoppers don't really know what an OTA is per se, and I would suggest that they don't view this as solely a place to go and book. In fact, I've seen research that indicates that 66% of people consider OTAs as their primary tool for planning travel online. And we know that in aggregate form, OTAs only account for 39% of all bookings. So there's a large number of people that are going to OTAs for the research and comparison part of their planning process and booking elsewhere, either on a brand.com or offline. So
absolutely.
My next question for you is how can a hotel actually take that information and leverage their presence on OTAs so that they can be more effective in their online presence?
Well, I think the first thing that you do is what we talked about earlier, and that is you've got to change your mindset. These are not foes, they're friends. You've got to use them as a conduit to reach people that you otherwise might not ever touch. So first of all, hotel brands need to make sure that they are playing in the same sandbox as the OTAs. Because as I said earlier, you can convert a consumer to come to brand.com if they have one or two good experiences even through the OTAs looking and not booking. They might say, they look around and see the pricing, all the comparison pricing, and then just for kicks even now because they've been exposed to your site through perhaps advertising or other marketing means via the OTAs, they might come to your site just to see. And all of a sudden, they see the best deal out there, and let's face it, 99% of consumers are going to go with the best price available, given that everything else is fairly equal. So therefore, by becoming the OTA's friend, by perhaps a marketing partnership or just becoming, not fearing them, you're going to expose yourself to more consumers that could eventually come over to your side and become your loyal customers, which, as we all know, is the ultimate holy grail when it comes to marketing.
Do you think that business travelers shop on the internet any differently than leisure travelers shop?
Absolutely. I think that business travelers, first of all, leisure travelers in general are always looking for the best deal. I'm sure you have the wealthy set that's not an issue, but me, my friends, everyone I know, we go online, leisure travel, to find out what the best deals are. We may not always book there, but at least we know the lay of the land. Business travelers are a different breed. It's not necessarily their dime. Sure, they have a budget to follow, but it's going to be a little bit more about convenience than it is about price. I need to get to city A, I need to conduct business, and I need to get home. So therefore, shopping that might be a little bit more for convenience rather than pricing, I think is how business travelers approach the search functionality of OTAs versus leisure travelers who are really looking for that value add and who are looking maybe to even find out, what the various hotels and even the location that they're going to have to offer, whereas a a business traveler knows, you know what, I need a hot shower, I need a comfortable bed, I need a breakfast in the morning, and I need a shuttle to the airport. Other than that, I don't care. So, yeah, absolutely, I think business travelers tend to look at it a little bit more black and white with blinders on. This is what I need, and for the most part, costs don't matter, although with this recession, that mindset's changing a little bit in that, you know what, I've got to be pragmatic about it and understand that I've got a budget, and in many cases, with banks and financial institutions, I also have to remember that the media is, being a very tough watchdog now, and if I spend that extra $10, are they going to be all over me? But that's a dynamic that I think is just very focused on this time. That's going to go away, and business travelers will for the most part resume to that. I want convenience. I want it now. Leisure travelers, I want all the options. I want the best value.
So you talked about that just briefly, about leisure travelers looking for the best deal. Quickly, could you just give me a definition of what best deal means?
Best deal means most bang for your buck. And if I have to spend a little more, but I get a lot more, that's the best deal to me. And I think most consumers fall into that.
Right. So a hotelier that focuses on ensuring that they communicate all of those value-added items that are part of the experience of staying at their hotel will, and if they're on par in price with another hotel, will be communicating that best deal to them in a stronger light.
Nothing ticks off a consumer more than being nickeled and dimed to death. I'd rather pay a little bit higher rate and have my parking and breakfast and spa treatment included than paying $10 less, but then having to pay $20 for parking, $30 for spa, etc. So it's all about making sure that your guests understand what they're getting for their value, and that it's the best use of their money.
Jeff, thank you again for visiting us here on VTV and sharing with us some of your insights and knowledge.
John, it was my pleasure. I appreciate your time, and thank you. I look forward to seeing you down the road.
To all the viewers out there, be sure to visit us at vtv.vfmleonardo.com and post your comments. Tune in next week for more from another industry expert.